Hello again, everyone. I got another keychain gun of a 1911 with wood grips, and it's by this brand I'm familiar with, Yingtu. And I think all these have so far been 1/3 scale, but we'll measure this. I did get a shell eject one, but it was much bigger than 1/3 scale. So we'll look at the details later. Let's just get the measurements out of the way. So this thing weighs 53 grams, and I would never trust this ball chain to hold anything. These things are garbage, in my opinion. It's a waste of metal. Alright, so dimensionally, 216 millimeters is what this 1911 is supposed to be. And this is around, I would say 73 millimeters in that ballpark. Maybe, yeah, 73. Because there's a recess right here. So, alright, so 216 divided by 73. Yeah, this has got to be a 1/3 scale. It's just I'm not measuring properly because my calipers are cheap. Or not long. Okay, so now we can look at the details and actually compare to a wooden gripped one. In particular, I noticed this text through the packaging. So this text here, you can pause and read that if you want. But here's an image of a real gun. And coincidentally, it looks like that text all matches up. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. As to why, I don't know why there's so many dates on this thing. Maybe a 1911 fan can chime in for everyone to know. But yeah, why is there like several different years? 1897, 1902, 1905, and then 1911. I guess maybe entered service, but 1913? Don't know why. Okay, well this one's silver, and then we have real wood grips. You can get them with plastic grips, they cost less, but I thought I'd try this one out. And yeah, so this is real wood, it's got some dents and stuff, and this is actually using those flathead screws, like a real old 1911 would use. There are models where they have checkering here, but I don't trust it on something this small to have checkering. I mean, if this was checkered and it got a dent, it would look all messed up, right? So that's another reason why I went with just the smooth grip. Nice texture here on the mag release. What's going on with that? Yeah, that does pivot and it does lock, or does it? Doesn't really lock the slide. Too much gappiness going on here. Alright, and then this slide catch. I think maybe the magazine might want to be empty, perhaps. But you can manually do it. And then the barrel. This barrel's metal, so that's nice. It's not plastic. A lot of the other keychain guns are plastic barrels. Possibly also, this trigger could be metallic. I gotta get something metal here and see if I can ding it or make a sound. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's metal just because it makes that noise. Okay, well that's nice. Why is there this big thing there? But it is on the real gun. I forget what goes here. I actually have a Springfield 1911. I just haven't seen it in like 15 years. So I don't know what the heck that is for. And maybe Springfield got rid of it. This is a Colt 1911. Alright, well I'm going to slide that forward. I don't think this one ejects shells or anything like that, but it just goes through the action. The mag release does work. It just dropped out, as you see. It's got some hole indications to tell you how many rounds you would have. This is what's holding the bottom plate on, I guess. Single stack mag, and it does have one brass bullet. It looks pretty nice. Yeah, okay. So that's neat. And the trigger, the hammer's already back. Oh, look at that. That's nice. A nice clicking sound. You're going to need some small fingers. Maybe use your pinky would be better. Now, the hammer, though. This feels like plastic. Yeah, so that's too bad. I guess you can't have everything. In fact, this also feels like it's plastic. This feels like it's metal. Yeah, okay. The back strap here. Oh, this also is plastic. But you'll notice it actually pivots this safety here. So that's interesting. But obviously it has no correlation to the thing actually pulling the trigger. The ribbing here is nice. This is metal here. This loop then would be metal. The wood grips are legit, which is nice. Single-sided mag release. I don't know, nothing on this side. I think this is modeled after a bone stock 1911, and then they just sell an option with the real grips here. Serrations are only in the back, and then, oh nice, this actually has a notch for the rear sight. I think the other one I have, it doesn't have a notch. The front sight is very, very low, but I'm actually looking at the photo with the text that I brought up, and that also has a very, very low front sight. Look at that. It's just like a little bulge. Interesting. Okay. So I guess that's quite realistic. Let's pop this back in and see what it looks like with the bullet just in there. Now this, I think you're going to have to actuate the mag release. Yeah, in order to get that thing up in there. Okay, well, it's very, very far down there. It doesn't seem realistic. I feel like it should have come up more. And where's my flashlight? Yeah, just slide mechanisms. There's no hook. It's definitely not going to eject any rounds. But that's fine. This wasn't... The stock ones with the plastic grips are quite cheap. The wood one definitely adds an extra cost, but it's cool. It's real wood. So, alright. Well, it's definitely a cool fidget toy, because you can just sit there, go through the action, right? Or, yeah, do that and that. Okay. I'm not sure if this one can come apart. Maybe it can't. I cannot push that out. Maybe you would need like a hammer, but I'm not going to bother. Alright, well, there's some plastic parts, but overall I would say it's pretty nice. And for me, I'm really happy that it's 1/3 scale. So another Yingtu is the Kimber 1911. So very similar, yeah, right? Similar length. It makes sense, right? The Kimber's nicer. It's got the safety like there and on this side though. And this one also, this thing moves. And on this Kimber, this is metal. So they saved, is this metal? Actually, this is metal also. Yeah, okay, so that's nice. I think the Kimber is just a more modern design. You know, the hollowed out hammer is nice. But, you know, for something designed over 100 years ago, the 1911 is still a great, great gun, right? People still buy them and use them today. Right, neato. A little texturing up in here. Oh, okay, could do that. So I wonder if you did do that, could you rotate this and get... Oh, look at this, look at this. Oh, uh-oh. I don't know what order this little spring on the bottom and this thing here. So I just messed up the gun probably. Now maybe... Oh, yeah, now that comes out because there's no tension on it. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, that bullet is just so far down there, it makes no sense. They could have easily raised it, but they would have to have a longer magazine to, yeah, they could have made a longer magazine and still not have it load, which is fine by me, but it's just strange that they would have the mag so short and have that bullet way down there. It's very odd, very odd. Let's see this mechanism here. Okay. I don't know how the trigger is pushing this. There must be something embedded in the wall of this thing. Let's take the mag out. Let's see. Flashlight. Yeah, there it is. There's some sort of rod there connecting. Or maybe it's on both sides even. I assume that black bar moves back to actuate the trigger. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. What's going on up in here? That's neat. So you could polish this if you wanted to. Oh, also, how deep is this thing? Not very deep at all. Only that much. Maybe, yeah, less than a centimeter. And that's totally blanked off. But coincidentally, there's something here. I wonder if you could actually push that out. Well, not easily. Alright, so that's what the cross pin, this thing is catching, I guess. Pretty thick, so quite durable actually. Yeah, I don't think this is going to break very easily. You might even be able to step on it. Not that I'm gonna, but I think if it fell off your backpack, you know, with that crummy, with this crummy thing, if you actually notice that it fell off, it might actually survive a drop. Well, let's see if I can put this back together. Let's do that. This is solid. Okay, so that does go in the front, so this little spring must go in first. Yeah, into this bottom recess. And the big spring goes around the barrel. Okay. Then I guess you could put this little thing here. And then you could start squeezing this down. And then you're going to have to press this lower thing in and twist that barrel back over it until it clicks and pops out again. A miracle I was able to do that the first time. Or should I have not done that? Will this line up? I guess it probably will. Oh, I see. Yeah. So you can't just drop this in. It's trapped by the body, which makes sense. I think it's lined up now. Nope, something is... I don't know what the deal is. Why is that thing all messed up like that? Yeah, I can't explain that. I feel like, you know, see how there are rails in the back? How they grab each other, the top slide and the frame? I feel like there should be some right here, but they're not, right? So the only thing holding this whole slide on is the rail engagement back here. Yeah, that's kind of strange. I don't know why they wouldn't have this rail here molded all the way through, and then maybe CNC part of it off. The Kimber must have him because nothing is. I can't push that up, right? Something must be trapping more of it than just the back end, or maybe the back end of this one is just longer, and maybe this one is just too short because it's causing that leverage. Yeah, it's also just really gappy. That might be another issue. If it was tighter, it wouldn't be able to flex upwards so much. But look at the wobble there. Okay, well, it's a cheap key ring gun, so I'm okay with it. So some other guns. Yeah, I think this is the Yingtu as well, the G17. Oh, maybe it's not. This one actually ejects shells, so I don't know who makes this. I can't remember. You'll have to look up the review. Just look up G17 Keychain. This is a G34, and I can't remember who made this, but this is awesome. It's really neat. They come in different colors, but I really like the gold pimp barrel on that and all the cutouts and stuff. So really neat, the mag wheel and all that. And then there's a Desert Eagle. This is by Yingtu. It doesn't eject shells or anything like that, but it's hard to not like a Desert Eagle, even if it's not full size. Very neat. It has double springs up front. So this is the hardest cocking one I have. And again, I don't know why the bullet is way down there. It's not remotely close to the slide. Yeah, so strange. Let me get a better top view for you guys. Hit focus. There you go. So get some variety in the sizing. They're pretty neat to collect because they're fidget toys essentially. You can just mess around with them, and you know, they're metal where they're supposed to be. Obviously Glock is a plastic frame, but they still feel durable enough to play with, so very neat. So to sum things up, it is around 1/3 scale for sure. The printing matches up with the real gun. It's got cool wood grips, satisfying trigger pull and all that stuff. You can break it down. The only issue is it doesn't eject rounds, but it didn't cost a lot of money, so that's fine. And it's a little bit loose. It's a kind of a sloppy fitment on this one. Maybe they're not all this way. Maybe for some reason this just pulled out of the mold too loose. But I'm too lazy to try to fix it. Alright, well thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next Keychain pistol review.